I'm Beth.
And I'm Jamal, and today we're recapping our fertility journey, specifically Beth's recent surgery.
Yes, I did it.
So well. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
So for those of you who don't already know, Beth and I have been on a fertility journey for about 6 years. We've got a full playlist of our videos that we've made around fertility, which you can check out on our channel. So make sure you go and have a look at that. Subscribe to us as well to carry on following us. We post about relationship stuff, about our fertility journey, just our life. We would love to have you as part of our team.
Team Beth and Jamarl. I was going to say Team BJ, but it sounds So I am 2 weeks exactly post surgery, and I'm actually feeling pretty good.
That's
Not
good.
too bad. It was hard, wasn't it? Like when I first got back.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll rewind pre-surgery. Because as you know, it's COVID times. Jamal can't come in with me to the hospital. So he had to drop me off at the door, which was really sad. Here we go.
Just about to drop Beth off for the day surgery. Well, for the surgery at the day surgery unit.
Yeah, hopefully I won't have to stay in overnight.
Oh, it's so sad because of COVID rules. I can't even go in with Beth. I literally just drop her off at the front and then she has to go through it all by herself. And I can't even, you know, be in the waiting room with her or anything. So that's really sad. But there's nothing we can do about it.
I really feel for people like giving birth right now, or like hopefully their partners can be with them.
But yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Feeling nervous, but I'm also like, I woke up feeling a lot more peaceful about it than I did yesterday. Just got to think about it as going in for a nap.
We're covered in prayer. We've got friends and family praying for you. I'll be praying for you and be with you in spirit. I love you.
See you on the other side. We just had it in our heads that Jamal would be able to come with me until I went into surgery.
Yeah. And the rules around COVID have been changing so frequently that like we just didn't know. It was June, wasn't it, when you had the hospital appointment? So that was the last video we posted about fertility, was that you needed surgery, and that was about 6 months ago.
So Jamal dropped me off at the door, which is very sad.
Yeah.
And then I went into the waiting room and there was E.T. on the TV. So I was just watching E.T. And then they wanted me to bring me through into like the room where all the beds were. And then I remember that I'd forgotten my bag.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And I was like, no! Yeah. And I couldn't get through to Jamal because Jamal's phone was like on airplane mode or something.
Because I was charging my phone because I needed to have enough charge for when I went and left you there. But because I wanted it to charge faster, I had it on airplane mode. Because when you have an airplane mode, it charges like twice as fast.
Yeah.
But then I'd forgotten to take it off airplane mode.
But thankfully, when Jamal was like part way home, he remembered that he had like not given me my bag. So he came back and gave me my bag. That was a little bit stressful.
To add to already the kind of stress of not being able to be with you.
Yeah. And then I got in, they put these like long stockings on my leg, which were very sexy. And got me into my like, hospital gown and stuff. And then there was like this really nice woman that was laying next to me called Stephanie, who was literally having the exact same surgery, which was like really freaky. And so there was like Stephanie and Bethany like right next to each other, and we're like, I hope we don't get us mixed up. But that was actually really comforting because Jamal couldn't be there, so it was nice to talk to her. So the actual surgery that I had was a hysteroscopy.
Hysteroscopy.
Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Hysteroscopy. And EB. I don't know what EB is. Laparoscopy and ablation of endometriosis. Right ovarian chocolate cyst drainage.
I hate that they call it a chocolate cyst.
It is kind of gross, isn't it?
It's like they put something really nice right next to a really gross word. It's like, why put those two things together? Chocolate cyst.
Gross. And a bilateral tubal patency test. That's what they told me that I was going to have, and I was like,
it's a lot.
Wow. Okay, cool. Got wheeled in, which was really weird because, you know, in the movies when people were like being wheeled down these corridors, it was like that, like being wheeled into the anesthesia room. My heart was pumping, I have to say. But it was okay, it was fine. And then when I woke up, because Jamal couldn't be there, the doctor told me everything they'd done, but I was really high from the
loads of morphine
anaesthetic and morphine and stuff.
From painkillers and stuff.
Yeah.
And also in the actual notes, they provide us with information about the surgery and post-op and recovery and all that. And they were saying that you should have someone with you to be there when the doctor debriefs you so that you can understand what they're saying and be able to take it in because you are of sound mind. You're fully sober. Beth was high as a kite, and because of COVID, we couldn't go in. And they obviously hadn't made any adjustments for that, which is a bit of a shame. But thankfully you were kind of with it enough to record it, weren't you?
Yeah, so like prior to surgery, I was like, I'm literally not going to remember anything. I know I'm not going to remember anything. So I put my phone on the recording app, and then somehow, must have been God, like prompted me to look at my phone, and it was on the record app. And so I saw the doctor walking over to me, so I just hit record. So then it recorded everything the doctor said, and I sound so high. Oh my gosh. I don't know whether we should like add a little bit of a clip in.
If you want to, you can do that.
I sound like a little child, and I'm talking like 2 miles an hour. It was really weird.
It's really funny. I mean, it's funny and sad. I think for me, as a husband, not being able to be with my wife when she's coming out of surgery, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be there. And you FaceTimed me directly after as well, and Beth was out of it. It's like talking like so slow. And like your face just was really, it's like all the muscles in your face were just relaxed, so your face was just like
oh man.
Oh yeah, and Beth was FaceTiming me, and then she just kind of was talking, and for about 10 seconds just fell asleep mid-sentence. And then woke up again and like carried on the sentence as if like nothing had happened.
Oh man, I wish I could see that. Oh dang. So basically what they told me was that the tubal test was good. They tested and the dye went up both tubes.
Fallopian tubes.
Yeah, fallopian tubes.
Specific.
So my tubes are open.
Praise God.
So basically they found that the cyst, if you watch our previous video where they told me I had a cyst, they said that it was 4.5 centimetres. But during surgery they found out they had grown to 5 centimetres.
Or they were inaccurate in their first measurement.
Or that. But they managed to drain that, which is really good. So I no longer have a cyst.
Chocolate cyst.
In my body. I'm cystless.
That's good. That's good news.
Also, they found that there was endometriosis on the front of my womb, on the back of my womb, underneath my womb, on both of my ovaries, and my ovaries were stuck to my womb.
Yeah.
That was quite surprising.
The shock, yeah.
They managed to like burn off all of the endometriosis that they could, but we don't know whether they removed my ovaries from my womb. They didn't actually say that when they debriefed me. So we're waiting for a letter to come through which basically tells us everything that they did. So hopefully they did. We need to go for another scan to check whether I have eggs in my ovary. Because that would be amazing.
And you're going to get a briefing, like another appointment where you have all that briefing from a doctor.
It's just the finer details, like whether they actually removed my ovaries from my womb, whether I have eggs.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. The anti-nausea medicine they gave me, they injected in my thigh. They had to like grab the fat bit of my thigh and like stick it in, and oh my gosh, it felt like hot lava going into my leg. It was so painful. But I have to say, I did have surgery and it was painful around my belly, but because of what I've been through with endometriosis and the pain I've endured throughout, you know, my life, the pain was not that bad comparatively.
It was comparative to, would you say it's comparative to a severe endometriosis episode?
I would say that would be worse.
There you go.
So obviously painful, really, really tender. Like when I was sitting still, it was not too bad, like it was bearable. Moving around was more painful, and like putting weight on my feet, you know, bending or anything like that, Jamarl had to help me.
Yeah. There was the shoulder pain, wasn't it? That was the worst, wasn't it?
That was the worst part, definitely. The shoulder pain. Some people don't have shoulder pain because they pump your belly full of air in it so that the cavity rises up so that they can get to all your different bits and bobs during the surgery. When they go up and stuff, the air's still in there, so it gets into your shoulders for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's what I was experiencing, was just really bad shoulder pain. Pain in kind of across my chest as well, like where the air had kind of come around here. So Jamarl was really nice and like gave me massages and stuff. Milked that. So we actually forgot to tell you like quite a major part of the story. I don't know why it slipped our mind.
We just glossed over it, just like we did the whole time. We were just kind of like feeling so numb to it all.
So weird. Anyway, basically, in order to come home, I needed to do a wee. But basically, it's really hard to go for a wee after you've had this type of surgery.
Probably also due to the swelling and stuff from the surgery site and it being near your bladder, pressing on your bladder.
Yeah. So the doctors, they took me to the toilet and I was there for like 10 minutes or something, trying so hard to go for a wee and nothing came out. Like I felt like a tiny urge and then it would just go. And then they were like, okay, we'll take you back and if you can't wee in the next hour or something, then you're gonna have to stay overnight.
You really didn't want to stay overnight?
The whole time, like before we went in, I was like, I don't want to stay overnight.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there overnight. So we went back and I drank so much water. Like,
just guzzling
the water down. Do I have like, food do I do?
Yeah.
We just ate lunch. But yeah, and then they took me to the toilet and I couldn't go for a wee and I was so sad. I was like, no! And basically I was so high as well and like my blood pressure was really low and my wounds were like bleeding more than they wanted them to bleed. And I was bleeding a lot, like out my vagina as well. So they were like, we're gonna have to have you in overnight. And I was there like, no, I'll be fine. But I probably wasn't fine. I stayed overnight, did not sleep a wink at all. It was just really weird, like being in the hospital. Now you've got food around your mouth. Not very presentable today, are we? So I didn't wee till like early hours of the morning and I was drinking so much. So I had a commode next to my bed.
Glamorous.
Very glamorous. So the nurse had to help me over to the commode, go for a wee, and I weed.
Hey.
And it was such a good feeling. But yeah, it was a very humbling experience having to have someone help you sit on the commode and then for them to take your wee away and like clean everything. Yeah. Anyway, once I weed once, the floodgates were open and I was literally weeing every half an hour. And yeah, I was in a lot of pain that night as well. That was hard.
On my side, I was just kind of at home. Well, we were staying with family because Beth got her surgery over Christmas period.
Yeah.
So we were already
like
staying
2
with
days
family.
before Christmas.
And so I was just, at my mum's place, just like sitting around. I was trying to keep as calm as possible, but I did feel really anxious and nervous about that surgery, and I couldn't be there to like, see her come out of surgery and help you and support you and stuff. So that was really sad, but yeah, I just tried to keep myself busy. I was definitely on edge every time the phone rang or like every time I got a notification through. Just glad that like the doctors and nurses seemed to kind of treat you really well. And
yeah, they were really kind. I felt like I was being so annoying, like ringing the buzzer every half an hour when I needed a wee. And then in the morning they were like, you need to be able to like do more things yourself to be able to go home.
Yeah, so you got your strength.
It was such a struggle, but I like tried to push through as much as I could to show them that I could do stuff so that I could go home.
So I had to drop soup off to Beth because they didn't have anything vegan and gluten free. And
Hashtag high maintenance. Hashtag food intolerances.
my mum made a really nice soup.
It was lovely.
Yeah, ran that up at like 11 o'clock at night to Beth. I couldn't go in the ward, so I had to drop it off at the door and then just speak to the nurses about Beth and just like, I was just like, can I just come in? Like, I know Beth is literally like in the room on the other side of those doors. So that was a bit frustrating. But,
and I could hear Jamarl's voice as well.
The nurses were really nice and they treated you well and everything.
Yeah.
And they gave a really good update, which was nice. So it set my mind at ease a bit.
Well, the next day my wounds were still weeping. The doctor came over and he was like, you're going to have to stay another night. And that would have been Christmas Eve. And I was like, no, please,
we're
no.
Not doing that. We're not doing
So he was like, tell you what, if your wounds stop weeping in the next 2 hours, then you can come home and your blood pressure goes up. And so I texted Jamarl, I was like, pray for this, please. And it happened. So I came home, which was really nice. So yeah, spent the Christmas period on the sofa with everyone treating me like a queen.
Queen you are, Beth and Billy. So yeah, Beth had surgery 2 weeks ago, and so it's taken about 2 weeks of recovery. That first week of recovery was fairly intense for you, I would say, and required a lot of support. So everything from, going to the toilet to getting dressed, getting in and out of bed.
Yeah.
everything in that sense.
Jamarl did so well. He's the most supportive partner in the universe.
I love you. But it is difficult seeing Beth like that, definitely. Like, I really wish I could have, you know, been able to just take the pain away and just make it all go away, make it all better, but you just can't. Anyone who's going through this, make sure you have people with you, loved ones, friends, family, whatever it looks like, because you couldn't have, like...
I couldn't have done it by myself, no, for sure not. Also, a really good tip, when you're coming home from hospital from this type of surgery, have a pillow with you so you can stick it between yourself and the seatbelt, because that was so good. If I didn't have that, oh my gosh, that would have been so painful.
Yeah.
I can show you the wounds. They're like not that big because it was keyhole. So I've got one through the belly button. So the belly button was the camera, and then there are two tools, like these ones. Not crazy. Come out with a different belly button, you know. We'll roll with it.
They do say that you're most fertile first 6 months after surgery.
Yeah, the doctor told us a while ago that he thinks we should have IVF, but our sort of plan at the moment is just to like try for these 6 months. Talk about the next steps if we don't conceive in the next 6 months. We'll
reassess.
Yeah.
But, we are so thankful for the support that you've already sent, all the comments, all the people who've been reaching out to us on social media, different platforms. Like, it's just been immense. It's been really encouraging. So thank you so much, and especially to our subscribers who are like following our journey quite specifically and praying for us and sending love and sending positivity. We just receive that so much. So thank you so much for that. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe.
And also, if you are going through this surgery at any time, or if you feel like you have endometriosis but not sure, or if you have any questions about the whole surgery in general, please put them down below, because I'll try and answer best I can now that I've had it. Hopefully I'll have something to offer you guys if you're wondering about certain specific details, because it's nice to know what you're going into. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports our channel, and subscribe to see more of our content. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.